Well, folks, guess what? It's Patreon supporter time, and my guy Vault Boy has sent me a beautiful deck. There's no other way to put it. It's beautiful. I like this because it has one of my favorite artifacts in the game, which is Proclamation 346E. Originally from the Age of Ascension era. For those of you not familiar, it says, while your opponent does not control creatures from 3 different houses, their keys cost +2. Well, how'd he do about that? That seems nice in a mass mutation deck, doesn't it? Not only that, let's just take a look at the scores here. So you got Ember Control 15, Ember Generation 14, which is not amazing, but then you have board control of 23 when you have a way to control key costs based on your opponent's ability to have creatures of each house. That means you're going to be able to affect their keys almost always. I mean, you got Spirit's Way, Mighty Lance, Positron Bolt, Standardized Testing, 2 Diametric Charges, Gateway to Dis. I mean, Implosion. You literally have every house has a form of a board clear. Neato. So, as we generally do, let's kind of go through house by house and look at how this mofo wants to play. So we got a break key, which is fine. Although, I mean, that could work. That could work. It's possible. Gleeful Mayhem as well. Good grief. There's just so much good stuff in here. The Dominator Baubles are really nice. The Double Infernus is obviously really nice. Drekker Inspector. Okay, so I think the thing I'm really looking for here is 16 creatures is not a high amount with low Ember generation, meaning that you will need to utilize your board, and unfortunately 5 creature houses don't help that prospect. The one good thing is the Logos house seems to be a good one. I mean, Kronos, Daughter, 2 Munchlings, Novu Dynamo, and a Quixo. Those are things that you would like to call again. The Munchlings, I guess you could get rid of some stuff if you don't need it. The Dynamo, again, puts you in a position where you can forge a key. If you're at 5, opponent doesn't realize it. You got the Logos card. All these things help greatly. But yeah, the Dis I feel is just pretty straightforward. You got ways to deal Ember. You got Pandemonium, I think, works really good in this. Each undamaged creature. Yeah, I mean, with all the damage pips, all 4 of the damage pips, that kind of gives you the ability, not to mention the diametric charges, to kind of set up a nice to set up a really nice Pandemonium turn to have your opponent capture stuff. And then here we are talking about Pandemonium when we can't forget about Equalize, which seems really good, actually. Really, really, really good. I'm loving that. And then the Grovenal plays into the Equalize as well. Trying to think, what do I want here in that regard? Just taking a second here. Give me a second here. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I mean, the Equalize works particularly nicely with a Pandemonium. You can easily get Ember back. I'm sure there's ways to do other things. I mean, if they got Exalting in any way, you are going to be laughing with your Equalizes. So I think there's situations where that card is kind of like an ace up your sleeve at some point. I'm kind of liking that aspect. The Lethalogica. You love to hate this card because you love the card, but you also want to hate it. Anytime I have an artifact deck where I'm into the artifact, this card always just feels like I don't know, because I don't want to lose the proc as well as other things in this deck. So it gets you the Logos, which may be necessary, but it also, you have to consider some of the other things as well. So Lethalogica is never an auto play for me, although more often than not, I am just automatically playing it. So what can you do? The effervescent principle, yeah. I mean, when you're making your opponent's keys cost 8, that can be just devastating. And then obviously having the daughter for the extra draw is really nice. Quixo for draw is really nice. I'm liking all of this stuff. Like the Logos is, I think, my favorite house shown here. Now let's go on to Sanctum. Sanctum with the double equalize, the free markets for a bit of burst. Mighty Lance to do 3 damage to a creature and its neighbor. Spirit's Way again doing work. I mean, Spirit's Way works pretty nicely. Drucker's 4, yeah. Liftcorn's 5, yeah. So some things are gonna get through. I mean, not a lot, but you know, Spirit's Way is still gonna do the job of wiping the board, which could be all you need for the proc delay. I love Ardent Hero for the taunt and the protection from big bodies. It's really nice. It creates a nice challenge, as well as a champion NFL. I mean, if you throw those on either side of your Grovenal, protecting that or your daughter, depending, I guess it's really whatever you're trying to protect. But that sandwich that's a nice sandwich. It's a meaty sandwich right there. Techno Knight, I'm liking for the fact that you want to use it to reap. So you can get rid of something you don't need and also get something else in hand. Xeno Knight, again, the digging is really nice. In fact, these 2 cards together are really nice. So you can kind of set up exactly what you're going to get, because then you're basically getting 2 cards. So I'm liking that. I swear, the Dominator Bauble, I know is important. I think you use it. You know what I'm liking it for is I'm liking the Dominator Bauble with the Munchlings, because you can discard a Logos card from your hand, which means you're going to draw more on that disc turn. So I'm kind of liking that aspect of it. Again, the Techno Knight and Xeno Knight aspects just are great targets as well. In a pinch, even using your Quixo just for a fight, draw a card. It's nice. You like it. I'm still not entirely sure about the Ember generation. That is the big asterisk with this deck for me is, I mean, aside from the Exalt, Equalize, go that way, and the free market burst potentially, I just don't know how this deck creates Ember without the board usage and then also a lack of creatures on top. So I'm excited to play it to see how it kind of works out. And not to mention, on top of that, you have all the board wipes. So, something to think about. Definitely something to think about. How do you deal with all these board wipes? How do you get rid of the, like, do you use them? Does your board get affected? Is it a timing thing? Is what it could be is like at a certain time, you're going to use them, and at another point, you're just going to be like, no, I'm keeping my board so I can generate Ember. I'm curious to see when I play how that will kind of reveal itself. So tune in this Saturday when I rock this deck, because Volpo gave me, this is out of all the decks I think he's given me, this one is the one that I am super excited about, but I'm also wondering how it's going to do some things, and that is generate Ember. Everything else, you know what, it may have enough Ember and board control that it will just win that war of attrition, because you'll get things fast. I think the cycle, it's a cycle. Yeah, a cycle control deck. So you're going to cycle through your cards, control the board, and see what happens. I'm very curious. Like I keep thinking about this and just going, a big keeps coming up. So we'll see how it plays. I feel like AJ, you're going to be like, what the heck? How did you miss this? I don't know what I feel like. I'm missing something, but I can't put my finger on what it is. I cannot for life of me figure out what it is, but I know I'm missing something. I'm almost wondering if you if you can get early enough your Furnaces, you even purge some of your own cards from your deck. So if you get Dominator Bauble and Soul Fiddle out, those things are fine. You're not going to see them again. Fawn of the Eye you don't see again. Proc you don't see again. So I'm wondering if there's some things you actually just get rid of your deck and you purge them with Infernus to make your deck lighter, to maybe get more of that Ember sooner. So we'll see. Let's see. We'll find out Saturday. Tune in. Let me know. And AJ, let me know how off I was or what I missed, 'cause I feel for sure I'm missing something here, and I just don't know what it is, but I know that something is awry in my assessment here. But it's a cool deck for sure. I'm very excited to test it out. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and as always, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.